So what's going on? I want to read this to you real quick, and then after that, we'll proceed from there. So Ryan Coogler was detained by police in January after being mistaken for a bank robbery. So this happened like in January, and we're just not getting this information. Wow. The Black Panther director was in Atlanta attempting to make a withdrawal from his account with Bank of America. The teller received an alert on his account, according to the police report obtained by CNN. Because the amount was more than $10,000, the teller notified her superior that she thought Coogler was trying to rob the bank, and 911 was called. Coogler had a handwritten note on the back of his withdrawal slip stating that he wanted the money to be counted discreetly, given the amount according to the report. When police arrived, two of Coogler's colleagues who were waiting for him in a parked vehicle outside of the bank were detained and placed in handcuffs while police investigated the call. He was released shortly after they verified his identity. The police report states the situation should have never happened. However, Bank of America worked with me and addressed it to my satisfaction, and we have moved on, Coogler said in the statement to Variety. So, we're just not getting this. You understand? I seen it on the news today. This, according to what I was reading off of CNN, this happened in January, and here it is, March 10th, right? So, I seen some of the footage. Coogler, the director of Black Panther, walks inside the bank, and then he has a handwritten, letter. I guess on the back of the withdrawal slip or whatever, stating, he wants to be discreet about the money or whatever, because it was $12,000. According to him, I think it was his makeup artist or something like that doesn't like to be paid in checks or whatever. They just like cash. So he went to the bank to withdraw the money out and give it to that person, the makeup artist or whoever it was that worked for him, the cash. It's crazy. I'm not choosing sides with this. I'm not on Ryan Coogler's side, and neither am I on Bank of America's side. And I'm going to explain to you why. So the first thing is this. I seen the footage. I saw, Ryan Coogler, he walks in. This is January, so I think it's, mandatory masks back then. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying back then because Atlanta took off their masks. So I'm assuming that back in January, it was mandatory for Atlanta, for you to wear masks in Atlanta. So his face is covered. He has shades on or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's the first red flag in that situation. You walking up to a teller and you asking for money, and you're trying to be, you're saying that this, you wanted to be discreet, and you got a mask on, shades on or whatever. Nobody can't really recognize you or see your face unless there's more footage in which he took off his face mask and his glasses. If he did that, then hey, it is what it is. But for the most part, from what I'm seeing, what little footage that I got, he didn't take off his glasses or nothing like that. I mean, you gotta like really look at, we could play the race card all day. We can, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we gotta look at, you know what I'm saying? Like someone such as myself, I probably wouldn't have had no problem with it. You understand? But then again, I might have. You never know. Your job is on the line. You don't know what to do. So you go to your superior, because your superior knows more than you. You know what I'm saying? And the superior says, you know what? It's more than $10,000. This is like this is like, I don't know. And plus we in Atlanta. And banks get robbed in Atlanta. I'm just being real with you. Crime happens in Atlanta. That's my word. Everywhere in Atlanta and around Atlanta, Metro Atlanta. So I don't know if this is necessarily like some racist shit or not. I don't know. But at the end of the day, isn't it ironic that you have a director that's producing the Black Panther Part 2? That's what he's out there for. You know what I'm saying? And the Black Panther is all about sovereignty. He has his own land, Wakanda, and all the rest of that shit. And it's self-sufficient. You know what I'm saying? Wakanda doesn't need anyone. They have vibranium and it charges up the city, and they're basically living for and by themselves. And the director's walking into Bank of America trying to get cash out that has dead white presidents dead white presidents on it to pay his makeup artist or whoever it was. The irony to that. The point that I'm trying to make, and the reason why I'm not taking neither side, is because of the fact that black people, if we just say fuck it, go through, let's just say like Greece and Rome and all of that, or Europe, excuse me, let me just say Europe. Let's just go through our dark ages. Europe went through the dark ages. There's gonna be a time, yeah, true indeed, we gonna go through some shit. We may have to eat mud pies. Like how some of the, I think it was Ethiopia, it was either Ethiopia, Kenya, one of them, it was kids eating mud pies. We may have to eat mud pies for dinner. But let's just go through the fucking pain. It may be 50 years of pain and suffering. But at the end of the day, once we get past the 50 years of the suffering and eating mud pies and all the rest of the shit that we have to do, all of the sacrifices that we have to make, giving up electricity, modernize, the modernized world, you know what I'm saying? Giving up Wi-Fi, the internet, Netflix, all the rest of that shit. After the 50 years, just think about how far we can go. And when we get to that point, how far we'll be, how far we can go. And when we get to that point, how we will treat one another when we have our own shit. See, I know y'all not gonna like this conversation that I'm having. Y'all not gonna like this shit. I'm gonna have a bunch of people that's gonna disagree with me when I say this. But at the end of the day, if you're living behind enemy lines, in which you are, in which we are, we're living in America, spelled with 3 Ks. If you're living under white supremacy, guess what? You can't have it both ways. Just can't. What I mean by both ways is this. You can't expect someone to treat you fair and equal. Because they don't have to. They just don't. White people don't have to treat us fair. White people don't have to be equal. They don't. They don't have to treat us fair or equal, let alone both, fair and equal. You can't have it no way. Let me just say that. You can't have it both ways. You can't have it no way when someone is running the place that you live in. And you got to answer to them. Like, I'll give you an example. You come over my house, I have rules and regulations. One of the rules that I have is that you take off your shoes. Right? You don't take off your shoes, you can't come into my house. Now, what I will do is, I've softened up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I've said to myself, you know what? It may not be fair for people to take off their shoes. People, feet may stink. They might have dirty ass feet. They got ugly feet or whatever have you, toes. That's cool. So what I did is I started getting these. I got a pack of them, you know what I'm saying? And these things that you put over your sneaker, over your foot. These white things, you know what I'm saying? They're the cheaper version of what they use in a hospital. So now when you come in my house, you don't have to take off your shoes. All you got to do is just take the white little elastic things and put them over your sneaker, so you won't track any dirt inside the house. You understand? But at the end of the day, I still have a rule. And that is you either have to take off your shoes or you got to wear those little smog looking things over your feet, over your foot. Other than that, you can't come into my domain. You can't enter into my castle. And these are my rules and my regulations. And if you don't abide by them, you can't come in. It's just that plain and simple. And that's the point that I'm trying to make to you. There's no exceptions to the rules. Black people keep on demanding rights and fighting for freedom to do what white people do. They're fighting for white privilege as if are they trying to tear down white privilege and make it so that everybody has, everybody is fair and equal across the board? Let me tell you something. If I was in rulership, you know what I'm saying, or in rule, or whatever you want to call it, you know what I'm saying? If I ran the United States of America, let me tell you something. I wouldn't be busting white people over the head. It wouldn't be no harassment. It wouldn't be, you know what I'm saying, police brutality and shit like that, like how white people are doing. But let me tell you something. I definitely would be on some racial profiling shit. I would. I'm not lying. White people, let me tell you something. Not all white people are bad, but a vast majority are liars. They lie, they cheat, they steal and kill. And if I was running the United States of America spelled with 3 Ks, hell yeah. I'd be on some racial profile and I'll pull over a white person in a quick minute. What are you doing in this neighborhood? Because it look like you ain't up to no good. This is a nice black neighborhood. And I don't want you to be in here because you just may ruin it. That might sound like a racist. I may sound like a racist, but I'm trying to protect mine. I'm trying to protect what's mine. Straight up. You may not like that. You may say, you know what, Langston, you wrong for that. And you just as bad as a white supremacist. No, I'm not, because I'm not out here killing people. And neither did I say, if I was in rulership, that I would kill, harass, intentionally detain white people. I said, no, I would racially profile. Like, what are you doing in this community? You're the only white person. Why are you here? And to be real with you, based on white people's the history that black and white people have together, rightfully so. Rightfully so. If we would have said, what are you doing in here when we were in Africa and before they kidnapped us? What are you doing in here? If we would have questioned them then, maybe a lot of us wouldn't have been kidnapped and brought over here to the Americas. Straight up. So at the end of the day, if you're asking me, I'm Langston. Well, Langston, what are you trying to say? Are you saying that white people have a right to racially profile and this and that and so forth? It's their country. It's their shit. No matter if they stole it, they killed it. I know my history. No matter what. They run this shit now. So at the end of the day, they get to decide what the fuck they want to do. That plain and simple. So when this shit happens, to make it relevant, when this type of fuckery happens with Ryan Coogler going inside Bank of America and writing a note and stating that he wanted this amount and it's his money. It's his money. They call the cops or whatever have you. It's like, well, what you expect? What you expect? Who is actually going to, this is the question. Who is actually going to punish white people that racially profile? That deals with police brutality. I'm talking about your higher courts. I'm not talking about your Supreme Court. I'm talking about higher than that. If there's a court that exists. Y'all claim that God exists and Jesus exists and heaven exists. So when are they going to be tried? And don't give me that bullshit about, well, when they die, they're going to go to heaven and then God going to decide whether they're going to heaven or hell. I don't know that. And neither do you. Where's the facts to prove that shit? That's the problem that I have with religious people. You talk all of that shit, but you don't have any facts to back that shit the fuck up. I can understand if one of y'all went to hell and you brought back a rock that was hot as shit and you were like, this shit's hot. Where you get it from? I got it from hell. Damn. But then again, I don't know, because lava is hot. You know what I'm saying? Like the core of the earth is hot. So is that hell? I don't know. All I know is at the end of the day, regardless of what anybody says, white people can get away with everything that they want to get away with when it comes to minorities. Why? Because they run shit. And they get to choose who they get the how do they put it? I'll just say, lack of a better slogan. You know what I'm saying? What is it? Candy pick? I think that's what they say. Or just hand pick. Let's just say that. They get to hand pick who they want to actually punish. So, in this particular case with your man George Floyd, I mean, the video was there. The white man, I forgot his name, and he don't even matter. The white police officer had his leg on the neck, his knee on the neck of George Floyd. It was like, you know what? Damn, man. One police officer got to go down. They got recordings. They recorded the shit. The whole world is looking at us. Oh man, we can't let this one slide. Well, he's gonna be the one that we're gonna have to handpick out of the several thousands of other police officers that got away with murder. But this is the thing. I keep on telling black people this shit all the time, and it just go, whew, Delta Airline flies over a motherfucker's head. They don't get it. Everybody all these black people going out there marching and all the rest of that shit, like as if white people are going to give up their white privilege, as if white people are going to give up their white supremacy and all the rest of that shit. They're not giving that shit up. Because if I had it the other way around, I wouldn't give it up either. That plain and simple. If I had things working on a behalf and for me, I wouldn't give that shit up. If I had the world showing me favoritism, hell no, I wouldn't get that shit up. If I had a bunch of motherfucking black people believing that I was Jesus Christ, that my image and likeness was of Jesus Christ, I wouldn't turn around and be like, nah, man, you know, my bad, you know what I'm saying? that I ain't Jesus Christ. That didn't even look like Jesus. You know, I mean, please, get the fuck out of here. If I were white and I can own a fucking team and these black niggas, basketball team, a football team, these black niggas would have faith in me. They look up to me. They look at me as a father figure. They praise me. You think I get that shit up? Man, I had them niggas running back and forth for the basketball court, back and forth for that fucking football field, catching all types of fucking injuries and shit like that, fucking them over, you know what I'm saying, and having them sign fucked up contracts and all the rest of that shit. I'd do that if I were white. I do that same shit. And y'all may look at it and be like, yo, that's some demonic shit that Langston is saying. And I'm gonna unsubscribe because this nigga ain't about his people and blah, 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 blah. I am about my people. I am. I'm just telling you, if I were white, it's obvious they don't really give a fuck about black people. It's obvious. You know what I'm saying? And if I were black and I dealt with white supremacy and all the rest of that shit, like I said before, I wouldn't try to use anyone and no shit like that, but I'd definitely be on some racially profiling. I'd definitely be on some prejudice shit, you know what I'm saying, prejudging. I would definitely have black people, you know, on the top. Straight up. Black people in my eyes couldn't do no wrong. Straight up. I could talk shit about Nicki Minaj, but white people can't talk shit about Nicki Minaj because at the end of the day, that is still part of my family. Straight up. So I'll protect and defend her fuckery. And if I'm arguing and having an argument with a white person, no, you can't talk shit about Nicki, but I can. You know what I'm saying? The problem is at the end of the day, is we don't show any type of nepotism towards anyone. We don't. White people do though. And this is the reason why they run this fucking planet. Because no matter what, Marilyn Monroe, oh man, she got fucking pictures everywhere. They glorify that bitch and she wasn't nothing but a fucking whore. You could clearly tell when she was singing that happy birthday to you to John F. Kennedy that she gave John F. Kennedy and the other brother, the brother of John F. Kennedy, she was giving blowjobs to all of them niggas. Fucking them is clearly like this bitch was on fucking crack cocaine or some type of fucking illegal substance when she was singing happy birthday with her breasts all out and shit. The first lady at the time, John F. Kennedy's wife, knew that shit. But they still praise her. They still praise her till this day. You can't say no wrong about Marilyn Monroe. But guess what? What we'll do when it comes to Nicki Minaj, when it comes to Megan Thee Stallion, I'm part of that crew too. I am not gonna lie. I've done videos about them. When it comes to them, we hang these motherfuckers up on the cross. Oh, she ain't nothing but a hoe. Look what she got on. And blah, blah, blah. She talking about some, get that pussy for the set. And blah, 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 blah. But white people don't do that type of shit. Not to one another. Straight up. And if they do fuck one another over, they ain't out there fucking talking shit. You know what I'm saying? It's for the better cause of the race. You best believe that shit. Look what's going on in Ukraine. Look what's going on in Ukraine. If something like that would have happened in Africa, let's talk about Haiti. Let's talk about the Haitians when they were when they was in Mexico, crossing over into America. Look how they treated the Haitians. They were kicking them. They had whips and shit like this was in fucking slavery or some shit. They were whipping them, kicking them, all types of shit. Look what happened to the Haitians when they were trying to make it over there, took a boat and was on right by Miami and shit. They took them niggas right back to Haiti. They don't play that shit. They deported the motherfuckers right back. Cause they don't give a fuck about black people. But Ukraine, I drive down 77, Charlotte Highway down 77. They got all types of billboards. United, we stand with Ukraine. There's all types of fucking missionaries going over there to help people. As millions of dollars sent to Ukraine. Ukrainians are going to Poland and United States and different places. Everybody helping them out. Black people, if you miss my point, my overall point is this. When are we going to have our own, man? Yes, we're going to have to sacrifice. You may not be able to wear your Tubi Yaki and, buy that shit. And, some of you niggas out there, you may not be able to drive your Hellcat, so purchase a Hellcat. We're going to have to make some type of sacrifices in the near future. Other than that, it's redundant. You understand? It's redundant, the cries and the pleads and all of that shit that we give out and begging to America, spelled with 3 Ks, knowing that we're never going to get any type of equality and any type of fairness. If that was the case, if they were handing that shit out, why is it that they didn't give it to the last generation and the generation before us and the generation before that and the generation before that? Like, this shit don't make no sense. We're saying the same damn thing all over again. Every fucking generation is the same shit. And we thinking that we're getting closer and closer to freedom or some type of fair and equality, and we're becoming more distant from it. White people ain't giving up that. White people ain't giving up no fucking white supremacy and white privilege. I'm telling you, yeah, shit, if I was white, ain't no way in the hell I'd give it up to no niggas. No way. Fuck that. Period. Knowing that any fucking white person, I'm not trying to be funny, I'm just being real. Like, seriously, this is my word. Any white person that does any type of like regular research on black people and what black people have done throughout the course of time. I ain't talking about no ignorant ass, racist ass motherfucker. I'm talking about a regular white person that's just like, yo, black people just cannot be what white America says that they are. Let me do some research. Once white people start researching, you know what I'm saying, and looking up who invented potato chips and the street light and the elevator and ironing boards and maxi pads and the first video games and the video game consoles. Oh, my home video game console. Oh my God, these black people did this under duress, stress, slavery, and all the rest of that shit. And if we get these niggas a fair deal and treat them equal, there's no telling what they're... No, we can't do that. They're gonna run America. Because it's obvious that these motherfuckers are smarter and better than us. It's obvious. Look what, just off of the strength of this, because I know there's gonna be some white people that's gonna be like, oh, now you into some supreme race shit. No, I'm just telling you the truth. Look what black people have accomplished off of stress, duress, slavery, mass murder, mass incarceration, all types of shit. And we've managed to shine through our history. Just imagine if all those ills were taken away from us and we had fairness and we were treated equal. How much more we can accomplish.